You have a parallelogram ABCD, you have these diagonals. Okay, so you have diagonals AC and BD of parallelogram intersect at O. Point O is given. Angle OBC is 36. This is 36. ODC is 28. This is 28. This is given, okay. AOD is 64. According to the figure, this is 64. Question is, find the measure of angle OAD. OAD. Let's see which one we have to find. We have to find this. OAD. First angle that we have to find is this one. Let's see how to find out this angle. Okay, so if we now see, in order to find out this angle, what you must see here is that this angle is 64 degree and this angle here 36 degree you have, right? 36 degree, and this angle here, with this angle will also be 36 degree because they are alternate angles. So once you have found out this angle to be 36 degree, you now see this triangle, triangle OAD. The sum of interior angles of this triangle is 180 degree. They add up to 180 degree, and therefore you can find out the unknown angle. Onesha Patro, switch off your camera. There's no need for camera. OAD is your angle that we need to find. So let's say let angle OAD is equal to x. I call this angle x. Now see, angle OBC is given to be 36 degree. So angle OBC must be equal to this angle here, 36. And what is the angle here? Angle ODA. Equal to 36 degree. Okay. So therefore, now in triangle OAD, what angles do you know? This angle we have taken as x. So x plus, you know this angle. We just found out this angle because the alternate angles. X plus 36 plus and 64 is already given. Must be equal to 180. Why? Because sum of interior angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Okay. So from here we can find out the value of x. X plus 100 is equal to 180, and therefore x must be equal to 180 minus 100, which is 80 degree. That's it. So we have found out this angle that we needed to find. This angle was OAD, means angle OAD is equal to 80 degree. So this we have found out. Since we have found it out, we'll put that in the diagram. We'll write that with a pencil in our diagram so that we know that this is the angle that we have found out. So this is 80 degree we have found. This is 36 degree was alternate angles. Okay, now we look at the next angle that we need to find. Angle OCD. OCD. So let's see which angle is OCD. This angle is your OCD. Okay. Let's see how to find out this angle. Now see here that this angle here, if I take this angle as y, this y and 28 are actually interior opposite to this angle. This angle is what? This angle is the exterior angle of this triangle. Anyone who disagrees? This angle 64 degree is the exterior angle of this triangle. And if you see, y and 28 are the interior opposite angles. You know that in a triangle, the exterior angle must be equal to sum of two interior opposite angles. So therefore 64 must be equal to y plus 28, and therefore you can find out y. Anyone who did not understand? Fine. So therefore, for the second one, what we do here is we take let angle OCD equal to y. Okay. Therefore, 60. Now, if you see this angle 64, as I said, this angle is exterior angle of this triangle. So 64 must be equal to y plus 28, the two interior opposite angles. Therefore, 64 is equal to y plus 28. And therefore, you can find out y from here. Y is 64 minus 28, which is 36 degrees. That means angle OCD is equal to 36 degrees. That's it. That's it. We have not used any properties of parallelogram here. And I'm not saying that this problem does not involve properties of parallelogram. But what I mean to say is that there are many ways of doing a particular problem. The way I have found out x and the way I have found out y. This is not the only way of finding out x and y. There are many other ways. There is at least three ways you can find out the unknown angles here. Okay. So this was this question. Let us see one more question. You do number 8. Number 8. The question here is in a square ABCD, AB is 3x minus 8, BC is x plus 6. Find the value of x. Also find the length of each side of the square. Fine. Let us take a square. ABCD, in which the length of AB is 3x minus 8. So this length is 3x minus 8 centimeters. Length of BC is x plus 6. So this is x plus 6 centimeters. Find the value of x. Okay, so how will you find out the value of x? You know that all the sides of a square are equal, right? So therefore, these two sides AB and BC must also be equal. So AB must be equal to BC. These two sides AB and BC are equal. So therefore, now put the value of AB. AB they have given to be 3x minus 8. BC they have given to be x plus 6. And therefore, you solve this equation to get the value of x. So 3x minus x must be equal to 8 plus 6. It means 2x is equal to 14. That means x must be equal to 14 by 2, which is equal to 7 centimeters. Okay, 7. Let's say 7 only. Question is find the value of x. So x is 7. Also find the length of each side of the square. Now once we have found out the value of x, what is the length of each side? Therefore AB must be equal to 3x minus 8. Put the value of x. 3 into 7 minus 8, which is 21 minus 8, which is
13.
13 centimeter. And each side, since all the sides of a square are equal, all the sides must be equal to 13 centimeter. AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to AD must be equal to 13 centimeters. all the sides here are 13 centimeters. Whether we talk about AB, or whether we talk about BC, or whether we talk about CD, or whether we talk about AD. Okay. So this was also a very small problem. Now, before I end today, tomorrow, remember that I will be taking your test on the properties. I'll be asking you the properties of the quadrilaterals. And before I end today, there's a very important theorem or a concept that I want to explain. And this you will require everywhere. And this applies to your right angle triangles. This theorem is called the Pythagoras theorem. Remember, we had done Pythagoras triplets? Pythagoras' theorem. Okay, this. Now, what is a Pythagoras theorem? If you have a right angle triangle, ABC, suppose it is right angled at here. Here is a 90-degree angle. Then in this right angle triangle, opposite to this right angle, you see which side? Opposite to this right angle is this side. This side, therefore, is called the hypotenuse. Is it absolutely clear?
Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
yes, it's
You have
clear.
a 90-degree angle here, and opposite to this 90-degree angle, you have a side AC. This side, therefore, is called the hypotenuse. Remember, any side that is opposite to the right angle triangle, opposite to the 90-degree angle, is called the hypotenuse. So, hypotenuse is the side opposite to the right angle, is called hypotenuse. Remember this, very, very important. Whenever you are given a right angle triangle, how will you identify the hypotenuse? You will first identify the 90-degree angle. Once you identify the 90-degree angle, now you will identify the side that lies just opposite to that 90-degree angle. That side will be called the hypotenuse. This side we take as the perpendicular. This side we take as the base. Okay, or the other way around also. There is no restriction here. You can take this as your base also, no problem. You can take this as your perpendicular also, no problem. But hypotenuse, remember, will always be the side that is opposite to the 90-degree angle. So according to Pythagoras' theorem, if you have a right angle triangle, so you will be having a hypotenuse. Identify that hypotenuse. You will see that according to this theorem, the square of the hypotenuse must be equal to square of the perpendicular plus square of the base. That is what Pythagoras theorem is. It always, in case of a right angle triangle, the length of the hypotenuse, take the length of the hypotenuse, square it. It will always be equal to the, the square of the length of the perpendicular plus the square of the length of the base. Let us take an example. Let us say I have a right angle triangle. ABC. Okay, and this is the right angle that is given to you. This is a 90-degree angle. And this length I give you as 4 centimeter. And this length I give you as 3 centimeter. And I ask you to find out the length of this AC. First of all, what you will see here is that this AC side is the hypotenuse because it is just opposite to the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse, right? So we need to find out the length of the hypotenuse. Okay. So by Pythagoras' theorem, okay, we have hypotenuse square is equal to perpendicular square plus base square. Okay. That means which one is the hypotenuse? We have identified the side AC as the hypotenuse. So we can write AC square is equal to, this one is our perpendicular. So this AB square plus base square, that means BC square. Okay. So now what is the length of AB given here? The length of AB is given to be 4. So, so AB square becomes 4 square. And the length of BC is given to be 3. So BC square becomes 3 square. So this is 16 plus 9 equal to 25. So we have found out AC square is equal to 25. That means AC must be equal to square root of 25. And what is the square root of 25? It is 5 centimeter. Now we will not take a plus or minus sign here because length cannot be negative. So therefore we only take the positive sign here. We don't take the negative sign. So therefore we have found out the length of AC, this unknown length, hypotenuse, to be 5 centimeter. With the help of Pythagoras theorem, you can find out the length of the hypotenuse. In fact, why only hypotenuse? Even if two sides are given here, that is, suppose if this is a triangle given here, this is a triangle given here, this length is 12 centimeter and this length is say 5 centimeter. In fact, not 5 centimeter, let's say this length is given to be 13 centimeter, and you need to find out the length of BC. How will you find out? See that this is the hypotenuse, this length AC is the hypotenuse, so the length of hypotenuse here is given to you. Okay, so from Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square is equal to perpendicular square plus base square. Okay, that means what is the hypotenuse? AC. So AC square, perpendicular is AB, so AB square, and base is BC, so BC square. Now you put the values, whatever value is given. Here if you see, the value of AC is given, which is 13, so this becomes 13 square. Okay, the value of AB is given, which is 12, so this becomes 12 square. The value of BC is not given, we have to find out the value of BC. So that means here what happens? Now this equation we need to solve for BC. So what you do here is 13 square is 169, right? 169 here. 169 is equal to 12 square is 144, and you write BC square because we need to find out BC square. That means next step will be 169. You take 144 on the other side. 169 minus 144 must be equal to BC square. That means 25 must be equal to BC square. That means BC square must be equal to 25. That means BC must be equal to square root of 25, which is 5 centimeter. So you see that this side BC we did not know. This side BC we did not know. And we have found out the side BC to be 5 centimeters because we knew the length of the hypotenuse and because we knew the length of the perpendicular. So therefore, in a right angle triangle, remember, if any two sides are given, you can find out the third side with the help of Pythagoras theorem, the way I have shown you. Okay. So I stop here for today. Tomorrow will be your